Welcome! A few of my pop-up sprinklers need to be raised, and I'm going to show you how to go from this to this without having to dig it up on one of them. We're going to use the Kap-It Sprinkler Riser and the Kut-It Sod Cutter Tool to clear around the cap. This is really easy to do, and we will go through all the steps so you have the confidence to DIY your repair. So keep watching if you're also having an issue with your pop-up sprinklers, or you just want to join me for a cool project. If you ever looked at your sprinkler that sunk into the ground and thought it was going to be a major repair, you may be surprised how simple this fix can be. Let's go. Let me show you what's going on with my pop-up sprinklers so you can compare it to yours to see if you're having a similar issue. I can use my phone or watch to start this zone because I have a smart sprinkler controller. Sprinkler heads can gradually sink over time due to a combination of soil settling, compaction, and everyday lawn activity. Gravity, rainfall, foot traffic, and lawn equipment slowly compresses the soil around the sprinkler, causing it to sit lower in the ground. In addition, as grass roots and thatch build up over the years, the surrounding turf level rises, making the sprinkler head appear even more recessed. And you can see mine is not spraying over the surrounding grass blades. Now this area, I think, was eaten by chinch bugs, so I need to improve the watering to help the grass fill back in now that I treated that. Okay, so check out this corner one. I have previously raised it, and you can see how the riser pops up high enough to shoot the water over the surrounding grass blades. I've also raised this next one. Now I need to cut my grass, and because this area is shaded by a tree, retains more water so it grows more rapidly and vigorous. Now check out this next one. This is what you're looking for to see if you need to raise your sprinklers up. You see how you can't even see it? The first thing I check, because I have St. Augustine grass, is to make sure a stolon hasn't grown across it, preventing it from popping up. But I can see that that's not the case and that it needs to be raised. Okay, let me show you how I like to prep the area I'm going to be working in. Now during the winter, the couple times I actually had to cut my grass, I had it on 6. During spring I was cutting it at 7. But I'm filming this at the start of summer, so it's time to raise it up to 8. I'm dreaming of the day I always have to cut it at 8. I would love nice thick grass 4 inches high. Now the reason I like to do my sprinkler repairs after I cut the grass is I just don't like to work with grass blades getting in my way. And you definitely want to keep them out of the system. For this next step, you definitely don't have to do this, but I also like to take my trimmer and lower the grass even more. I use my pull-up tool for pop-up sprinklers to hold it because I was going to turn the water off as I did this. But I just kept filming and trimming while the water was on and then removed my tool. Now where you can buy everything you need is in the irrigation section at Home Depot. It's usually by the plumbing aisle. This is the box the Kut-It Sod Cutter comes in to clear around the cap. Flipping it over, you can place it over most rotor heads and use it to unscrew the cap from the body. Now this is the bag the Kap-It Sprinkler Riser Kit comes in. 2 are in the bag, and you can raise most brands flat top pop-up sprinklers 1.5 inches, or you can stack them to lift 3 inches. I'll show you both ways. Now the alternative is to dig up the whole sprinkler and use one of these cut-off risers. There's nothing wrong with them and useful if you need to go more than 3 inches or to raise rotary sprinkler heads. Now there is a K-Lift rotor sprinkler riser kit you can order because it's not sold at the store. And then finally, don't forget to pick up your Rainbird spray head pull-up tool for pop-up sprinklers. It makes it easy to pull up a pop-up sprinkler stem upwards and prevents it from retracting while you work on it. Okay, let me show you how this works. I'm going to demonstrate this real quick on my workbench so you can clearly see how, then we'll go raise one in the yard. This is what it looks like. You get 2 1/2 inch riser extensions and 2 Kap-It bodies which you use to snap onto your pop-up sprinkler's original cap. Now watch how cool and easy this is. You pull up the riser by lifting from the nozzle like this with the pull-up tool. Then with it clipped on the lower part of the riser, it's preventing it from retracting as I unscrew the nozzle. And with it comes the nozzle filter. I put them down to the side for now. Next you screw on the riser extension, and then you add the Kap-It body over the riser. And I don't snap it on yet. I reinstall the nozzle filter and nozzle on next. You'll see this again in practice when we go and install it in the yard, but I like to have the nozzle back on for something to hold on to so it doesn't retract when I remove the pull-up tool. And then all that's left is for you to remove the pull-up tool, and you'll be pushing down on the Kap-It body until you hear it snap onto the sprinkler cap. And then the riser retracts back down, and you can see how the nozzle doesn't allow it to retract all the way down back into the body. Here's what you get in the box with the Kut-It tool. There's 3 pieces to it: the teeth, the driver, and the body. And it's really easy to assemble. You just screw on the teeth to the body, and they do sell replacement teeth by order separately. And then the driver slots in here. Let me show you 2 ways to turn it. You can either do it by hand with a ratchet. You need a 3/4 socket, and then you would just place it over your sprinkler and start ratcheting to the right, cutting the sod as you push down. But unless there's a reason I'm being extra cautious, I instead use my socket adapter with an extension so I can use my drill to do all the work. Yeah, I always use a power tool whenever I can. I hope these close-up demonstrations on the bench helps you understand the project steps and tools, but now let's go do this. Okay, I bring out all my tools and parts. I'm using my knee pad so it's more comfortable. Our first step is to clear the sod around the sprinkler cap. I see you. Now you need to feel or see where your sprinkler head is so you know where to cut and clear. Okay, now this is my first time using the Kut-It tool, so it took me a second to get my technique down. After my first cut, I removed what got loosened up. Once you clear the grass out of the way and you're just left with dirt, it goes easier. At this point, I couldn't see the sprinkler anymore, so I'm being careful in clearing the dirt away and feeling for it to make sure I'm directly over it. I feel it, I was off by a bit but still over it, so I make an adjustment and cut a little more over. And then once I clear the dirt again, I could see it clearly, not just feel it. Check it out. Okay, let's go deeper. Now see how the dirt gets stuck to the walls of the tool? So I tap it out before I keep going. And you can see now that there isn't any grass in the way. It cuts really smoothly. So I continue digging down around the sprinkler. You're trying to get the dirt cleared low enough that you can snap on the Kap-It body onto the sprinkler cap without dirt and debris getting in the way. Now the alternative is to use a small garden shovel and dig around the sprinkler. But I can tell you guys, this Kut-It tool is definitely making it an easier process. I give it one more spin and I think I have it low enough. So I use my fingers to clear out the last of the loose dirt, and I want to next use my hose to give it a rinse to really try to work as neat as possible. So I rinse and rub my finger on the top of the sprinkler and give it one more rinsing spray. Now if the sprinkler you're working on is far away, get a bucket with water so you can wash your hands and tools. If not, leave your hose nearby. You're going to want to work clean so you don't get any dirt in your system. Okay, you saw how easy this was on the workbench. I lift the riser with the pull-up tool. I hold it up with one hand and use the other hand to clip on the tool. I use my channel lock pliers to unscrew the nozzle. If it's been installed long, you need to break it loose with pliers. Then you can unscrew it the rest of the way by hand. Next, you need to pull out the nozzle filter, and again, if it's been installed in there long, it needs a tool to remove it. I use my offset hook pick. See how dirty it is? And I see debris in the riser that the filter has been holding back. Let me show you how I'm going to flush it out. I'm going to use this flush cap. There's also an orange color one that you can buy. It just screws on like a nozzle, but unlike a nozzle, it has a large opening to allow debris to flush out. What I like about it, it shoots the water out to the side. The alternative is just to remove your nozzle and allow the water to shoot straight up. Or you can use your finger to direct the water to the side, but you'll probably give yourself a shower. It's best just to stand back and turn it on for just a second. Okay, now that I got it cleaned out, I remove my flush cap. Next, I screw on the riser extension. I give it a slight turn with the pliers to make sure it's on tight. Just don't squeeze hard if you do the same. And then you add the Kap-It body, then the nozzle filter, then I screw on the nozzle, and take note, just like on the workbench, I didn't snap the Kap-It body on yet. I want the nozzle secured because I don't want the riser to retract all the way back in the body if it slips from my hand. The nozzle has an overhanging lip which prevents that, but also gives you something to hold on to. There was an annoying piece of grass in my way, so I used some scissors to cut it and remove it. Now the water I used to rinse the cap was still sitting in the hole, but I walked away for a bit and let it clear up before this next final step. Okay, while I'm holding the riser up with one hand, I remove the pull-up tool, and as I continue to hold it up, I push the Kap-It body down until I hear it snap on the sprinkler cap. Now I just lower the riser and it's installed. And it's that easy, guys. We just raised it 1.5 inches. Now if I could go back in time, I would have put the dirt that got pulled up on a plastic grocery bag instead of putting it directly on the grass. I couldn't scoop up enough of it to refill around the sprinkler, but you'll see me add more at the end of the video. Okay, let's turn it on and see if we got the spray above the grass. Turn on zone 3. Oh yeah, much better. What do you guys think? Are you going to try to raise your pop-up sprinklers with the Kap-It Sprinkler Riser and use the Kut-It Sod Cutter to clear around the cap? Here's a before shot and you can't even see the riser, and now you can. Now remember, I did use my trimmer so the grass is lower around it more than usual, but you can still see it's going to be able to clear it now. Let me show you another one I mentioned and showed you at the beginning of the video. Now for this one I had to double up the two 1/2 inch riser extensions and the two Kap-It bodies. I like to snap the two Kap-It bodies together, then snap it to the cap of the sprinkler. Let me show you how it turned out now I raised it 3 inches. So this is how it was before. You couldn't even see it, but now you can see water spraying everywhere, and I have proper coverage now my sprinklers aren't buried. Another tip is you can spray some lubricant on the riser to make sure it retracts good, especially if you doubled up on your Kap-It bodies. Turn off zone 1.
You got it.
So that's it guys, like I mentioned earlier, I used some nice clean dirt to refill around the sprinkler. This was much easier than using the old soggy dirt, and it always seems you lose some dirt as you dig something up. So I hope you like that guys. I gave you a solution if your pop-up sprinklers are dug down too deep. I'm on the hunt to see if I can find any more of my sprinklers I need to raise. Please remember to hit the thumbs up if you like this video, and be sure to subscribe to watch more home DIY videos just like this one. Put any questions in the comments and maybe I can help you with your next project. Click on the link on the screen to check out my playlist of other irrigation DIY repair videos. One, I show you how I upgraded my valve boxes after replacing my broken sprinkler wire with new ones. There's another how to install a smart sprinkler controller. And finally, if you're having issues with your solenoids, we tackle how to diagnose and repair or replace them. Thanks for watching and keep DIYing. Bye now.